Thanos wouldn't need an infinity gauntlet to annihilate half of life if these two creatures existed. Whoever wins between them, we lose. The two most terrifying and unstoppable, well, kinda, alien infestation level beings ever, going head to head. And if they meet in physical contact, I assure you all life in the universe would end. For the Antichrist might be formed. I know a lot of people are going to mention a couple of different aliens that I might be missing, okay? I know that there are aliens in the Halo games, the Swarm. I know that there's aliens and other stuff like a Warhammer, which are, these are pretty badass aliens, I'll give you that. There's probably a lot of aliens in games and anime that you're familiar with that I'm not. I'm talking about strictly in movies. Nothing comes close to these two. The Thing from, you know, John Carpenter's original film, and then The Thing from Another Planet, that film before that, and Calvin from Life. Calvin, my personal favorite of the two, is Space Al-Qaeda. He's a terrorist. He commits 9/11s every single day of his existence. He started off as a small sperm cell-sized being in a petri dish. And then as soon as these dumb, low IQ humans fucked with him with a taser, he went crazy, and in a rage-filled, blood-soaking event, he takes out the entire team on the ship, feeding on their biomass and growing larger and becoming more and more intelligent as he did. This is one of the most high IQ aliens of all time, and the movie ends in the most haunting way possible, with him latching onto an escape pod and entering our atmosphere, coming into the ocean, and then these fishermen will let him out. And once that happens, if Calvin is able to start absorbing biomass on Earth, especially in the ocean, Judgment Day. Angels are gonna have to come down after what goes down with Calvin on Earth, okay? Then we got the Thing. Everyone knows about this creature. The Mimic King himself, who can assimilate any being, mimic them perfectly down to their genetic codex, and then turn into a monstrous creature that absorbs everything in its path. Now, this thing is filthy. It's disgusting, all right? And one thing people might be saying is, Zafir, you're missing something. The Blob! Another being that absorbs creatures en masse and is seemingly unstoppable. Well, how would the Blob do against these two? Because this thing devours people and dissolves them in real time in the most slow, torturous way possible. This is the worst way to go. The Thing and the Calvin, well, they'll brutalize you, but this thing, this is Dante's Inferno level of torture. I do not want to go out this way, okay? This is the worst way anyone can go out. Now, how would it do against the Thing, for example? There's a reason I'm not bringing the Blob up in this video as one of the titular two aliens going at it, because I think it'll lose to both. Why? Can the Thing assimilate Blob? Yes. It's a matter of this. Can the Blob devour him and boil him down with its acid faster than the Thing can assimilate all its cells? I don't think so. Because one, the Thing has shown to retract and retreat upon danger. So if the acid hits him, the Thing will split off into another one, and then it will mimic the dead bodies that the Blob tries to eat, and then find its way to assimilate all the cells. And it does it at a rapid rate. So I think the likely outcome would be they absorb each other and become one hybridized being, with maybe the Blob ruptures itself in the course of trying to destroy all the Thing's organic substance structure, but the Thing would end up taking it over and it would become a hybrid. Therefore, the Thing wins either way, because a hybrid Blob with the Thing infesting it, that's a W for the Thing. This would not be like a hand-to-hand fist fight. It wouldn't be a fight in the conventional sense. Now, the sheer size and mass of the Blob would give the Thing problems. How would it do against Calvin? Calvin cannot fight this thing head on. Calvin cannot attempt to absorb the Blob, because the Blob will just start being corrosive towards it and maybe burn it from the inside with acid. Calvin would sit back and observe. He'd observe like this. He'd observe what Blob does, and he would try to figure out his weaknesses and maybe lay a trap. But remember, the Blob can be frozen. So maybe Calvin would figure this out at some point over the course of observing it, seeing how humans deal with him, and then to lay a trap for maybe maybe it breaks open a pipe of Freon gas on the Blob, right? That's a way the Calvin can just beat it through intelligence, not sheer power. Remember, Calvin was able to do this with humans. It destroyed an astronaut's cooling liquid tank, so it would flood her and drown her as it could feed on her and get back into the ship. In space, Calvin could do this to the Blob, all right? Now, if the Blob grows to a certain point where its size can just surpass any type of freezing, you're fucked. Now that I think about it, the Blob would be a pretty bad matchup. I think the Thing is the only thing that can beat him out of these two. It'll be MMA math. The Thing will beat the Blob. The blob would be Calvin, but who would win between Calvin and the Thing? That's the big story. Would it be the same story? Would the Thing be able to assimilate Calvin the same way he assimilated the blob and make a hybrid? The most abominable order? Let's break it down. The Thing. Alien parasite that assimilates other life forms at a cellular level. Just one cell can regenerate, it's over. Now, keep in mind, physically, it has a lot of weaknesses. Fire, incineration, and sometimes electricity. Keep that in mind. Calvin doesn't have the same level of weaknesses. Calvin, he's a rapidly evolving Martian organism with adaptability. Adaptation is his thing. Durable as fuck, he can survive the vacuum of space. He's got high IQ at the level that no other alien most aliens don't have this level of IQ. Humans don't even have this level of IQ, okay? It's predatory, but it has so much strength within its tentacles. The only weakness that is known to it is oxygen deprivation. It'll go dormant, docile once that happens, but it won't die. It adapts to everything that's thrown at it. So Ryan Reynolds tried shooting fire at it in life. It adapted to it, right? This is an adaptation level being. It's doomsday, okay? Now, this fight would probably start with observation. These beings would try to observe each other. What the fuck's going on? Calvin, this works in Calvin's favor because Calvin is very good at sensing your biology. He can sense where you are through your blood. He can read your body temperature. He can sense if you're a threat or not. It might be able to assess if the Thing, which is probably mimicking another animal, before it tries to devour, it might be able to assess, oh, this thing is different. On a molecular level, I can sense the blood structure. Something's off about this thing. Maybe, right? So when they do fight, it's a matter of this. When do they fight? What's the context? How big is Calvin? How many things has he absorbed? What form is the Thing taking? And then who touches who first? Does Calvin have the jump on it? Or will the Thing be able to rapidly assimilate him? Here's the thing. What happens if they try to consume each other? Here's how it's going to go down, right? This is a literal concept for a movie, Hollywood. Hollywood, you're creatively bankrupt, okay? It takes a cokehead to school all of you fucks. A direct sequel called The Thing Has Life. A crossover event between these two aliens, right? Listen to me. We follow right after life. Jake Gyllenhaal's escape pod has landed. The fishermen try to open it while he's getting flooded by Calvin. The Calvin has gone dormant now, right? Because of the atmosphere change. So the fishermen try to help Jake Gyllenhaal escape. Maybe they try to machete their way through Calvin. They end up somehow waking it up. Calvin kills everyone there and jumps into the ocean. Boom! That's the opening scene. Horrifying. We hook people right away. We cut to Kurt Russell, old, 30 years removed from the Thing events. This is a direct continuation of what happened in the comic books, which is a sequel to the Thing story. Kurt Russell escaped, he got rescued in the Arctic, but then in Argentina, there's another outbreak of the Thing that leads to him having to destroy a submarine, and then Kurt Russell's left on the ice. You assume that he might be freezing to death out there, but it's inferred that he gets rescued, so now we get Kurt Russell. And this guy is paranoid. He's lived 30 years of his life shitting himself, shitting bricks, looking at everyone sideways, thinking, which one of them is a mimic? Which one of them is assimilated? He has ruined all his relationships. He has a wife in this continuity. She left him. He was paranoid as fuck, couldn't even be in a relationship. Every time they tried to make love, he couldn't fuck her because he was afraid she'd turn into the Thing and neuter him. He has an estranged relationship with his daughter who tries to visit him, but for her own safety, he's like, no, stay away. I could still be infected. The Thing is sadistic. It tricks you. He's fucked in the head now. He's like Laurie Strode in the Halloween 2018 Ruby, locking herself in isolation, afraid that Michael will come back. It's the same type of paranoia. So he's isolated himself. But a research team comes down because they know of McReady, obviously. They come to him and say, hey, listen, we were part of the same organization that rescued you from the Arctic way back when, and we found something. We found something in the wreckage of one of those old places, and we brought it back to a lab, a specimen. So they have encased the Thing. Maybe it's a bird or a dog, whatever, we don't know. It's simulated its way into something, and they've encased it. And they have been doing 30 years of research with this thing, and they feel like they've made a breakthrough. One of the humans, a volunteer human who was dying, was sent in to some vault with the Thing in it, and the creature tried to assimilate it. But now the creature appears to be peacefully assimilating it, almost regenerating our human and not taking him over. It seems that we've made a breakthrough where we can actually use this creature almost to help people and their health. He laughs at this, and then he starts having a paranoid meltdown. He's like, you fucking idiots. This guy, you're about to let this dude loose again? Are you insane? I'm never going. They ask him to come with him because he's the only one who's experienced this creature's wrath and survived, right? They ask him, hey, we need an expert like you to come and help with observation. He's like, fuck no, I'm not going back anywhere near that thing. Go fuck yourself. But in the course of the movie, his arc will be, he feels like, okay, I'll go back, but he actually wants secretly going there to kill it. As long as this thing breathes, as long as this thing is still on Earth, he'll never be free. So he's like, fuck it, I'll help you, but he's gonna kill it. So they go to the lab. I don't know where it is, but they go to a lab. It's in like an underground bunker, right? And Russell Crowe comes face to face with this creature from across the glass. And he seems to be normal, but Russell Crowe doesn't trust it. He's like, no, this is tricking you all. Trust me, I know how this thing works. As soon as he gets out, as soon as you idiots let him out, everyone's fucked. In the middle of him debating with the laboratory people and all that, the experts, and there's like a war of words going on, a distress signal is heard from a nearby coastal city. A distress signal, why? What's happening? Well, we cut to the city. We cut to the people wondering what the fuck's going on. They're gathering up and looking up at something. The sirens are all going off. We see something rise from the ocean. Calvin has overtaken a bunch of bioorganic life while swimming in the ocean. Fish, sharks, whales. And this motherfucker's come out like a kaiju. He has come out huge. He is fucking everything up. He is slithering his way through buildings in the city, hunting people down. This is like a horror movie, y'all. People are running for their lives and getting cornered by tentacles and shit. This is the end all be all. So the military starts firing missiles at it. The National Guard comes in. Nothing is penetrating this man. So as a last resort, the military drops a fucking hydrogen bomb on him. Not a nuclear bomb, a hydrogen bomb. This seems to work. Calvin seems to have been blown to pieces, but one of his pieces escapes. Weakened, in a weakened state, but he's able to, with the hive mind, one of them is able to escape, knowing what just happened. But the research facility, the research people that Russell Crowe's with, their military faction comes and takes Calvin. They corner it into like a building of rubble, and then starts throwing smoke grenades in it, and Calvin goes dormant. They're able to case him in, as he's hibernating now, and put him in the laboratory, the same one that hosts the thing. So Kurt Russell is now being briefed. McReady's being briefed on this now, on what Calvin is. He appears to be, they found the message that the team of astronauts sent them saying this thing will kill everything in its path. Russell Crowe's told about this creature's, how much of a threat this creature poses, and Russell Crowe's depressed at this point. He's like, we got 2 doomsday level aliens in one lab that I'm in, you idiots. The thing itself, this creature starts panicking and is distressed visibly. It senses another apex predator within the lab. This is so important. It can tell. So there's a war of words between two sides of this arena, okay? There's the scientists who are agreeing with Kurt Russell, we need to just kill these beings while we have them. And then there's the more corporate shills who are like, no, we need them, look at them, we can help humanity, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe like a firefight breaks or something. Meanwhile, our creature escapes. The thing escapes. He finds a way to mimic somebody and fool everyone and escape. So it went from being peaceful to now assimilating everyone. It starts assimilating its way through everyone, and Kurt Russell's like, oh, fuck. Kurt Russell attempts to burn the entire laboratory down so that this thing cannot escape. But the corporate shills, some of their security starts to shoot at him. So his flamethrower is gone and he's badly wounded. The thing, all the freaking contingent parts that have been assimilated, they all start forming into this one large abomination monster that tries to force its way out of the lab, out of the underground bunker. Kurt Russell is done. He's there in the room with Calvin that's stuck in his casing, dormant. He decides, fuck it. This thing can apparently kill anything. I don't have any weapons. I'm about to die. This corporation won't do anything to the thing. I'm gonna do what I have to. He lets Calvin out. Now Calvin's still hibernating, so he tries to do everything to wake it up. The soldiers come in and start throwing flashbang grenades into the lab. Kurt Russell's fucked in the eyes and the ears, but they wake up Calvin, and Calvin starts going berserk on all of them. Kurt Russell's just watching this happen. He's like, yes, yes. Calvin and the thing meet face to face. This is the final fight, bro. This is the final act. Now, the thing starts trying to fucking immediately try to grab Calvin. It starts to try to assimilate, but it realizes Calvin's cells are shifting and hardening. We get this shot where it's like those venom symbiotes coming at each other, right? His cells start adapting and start hardening so that the things can't infect him the same way. The thing starts struggling a little bit, and Calvin's tentacle starts strangling the thing to the point where it has to separate. So the thing starts splitting off into multiple different creatures, and Calvin starts coming for all of them, murking all of them. Maybe Calvin sees that they respond badly to fire, and there's a fire nearby, and starts throwing them all in. Calvin is fucking relentless, going after them, and Calvin's growing with every kill. He's growing so strong now, he's growing so big, until one of the creatures, one of the pieces of it, plays dead. And then it infects Calvin. Now Calvin, this is going to be, Calvin's huge right now, right? So one of his tentacles starts getting infected. This is, you know how you get like a zombie bite, like an Evil Dead, for example, the demon bites him, it bites a chick, and the infection starts spreading in her arm, and it's like a countdown. She has to cut her arm off before it overtakes her. That's like what this scene is going to be like. And Calvin manages to cut it off. And we think Calvin has won. McReady is like, yes. Even though he just let out a fucking demonic monster from hell, but he killed the thing in his mind. But then Calvin starts shifting a little bit, changing. McReady's smiling. He's ready to call it a W, even though he's about to die himself. Calvin starts morphing. And then we see, oh fuck, something happened. He's been infected without knowing it. The thing managed to hybridize him. Now, the thing and Calvin, thing didn't win because Calvin's cells are adapting, but this adaptation has caused them giant mutation. And this creature has been upgraded to an abomination of the highest order. The thing has used Calvin's adaptation to make himself stronger. So he's no longer allergic to fire. He's no longer has a problem with electricity. Guns, missiles, they don't do anything. And if Calvin just got hit with a hydrogen bomb and his cells are now adapting to it. He's unstoppable. This is the end of times. Money, politics, status, anything, entertainment, anything that mattered to us, it's all a speck of dust now. Because Calvin's about to ruin our lives forever. Humanity is nothing. Lacrimosa by Mozart starts playing, signaling the end of the world, and Kurt Russell's like, fuck. These are the fruits of his labor. A paranoid schizophrenic almost, who did anything he could to kill the thing, and now he's let out hell itself. That is how that movie should end. Another doomsday ending, yes. Can they nuke it and kill it still? Maybe. A nuke is very powerful, but I don't think so. Once this, Calvin can fucking float in the air. Once this thing can fly out of Earth into space, the universe is dead, y'all. It can start changing everything around it. Organic matter is fucked. All life is ending. That is how that would go. If you want to know what the thing's origin truly is, it's not just an alien virus, it's something way, way, way more complicated. Watch this video here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movie theories with like-minded individuals in a community geared towards changing storytelling itself, join the free Discord now. The link is in the description below and probably in the comment section too. Join the Discord now. We're taking over Hollywood one coke line at a time. See you on the other side.